Hey there, real estate friends. At this point, many of you are probably starting to see the true value in SEO. But in order to get that value, you know that you need to constantly be curating content on your website. The problem is it's not just a matter of creating a quick blog post and then calling it a day. It actually is a little bit deeper than that. In order for your website or your blog posts to rank on search engines like Google, you're gonna have to do just a little bit more legwork. Emmanuel here, and in today's video, I want to talk about optimizing your blog posts for SEO. What is absolutely clear is that SEO does help your website or your blog posts rank in search engines, but what is not clear is how exactly to do that. So what I want to do with today's video is provide you with a simplified process that you can follow to help you double down on your SEO efforts. Now, before I get into this checklist or framework, I am going to lead in with the expectation that you already have kind of a basic fundamental knowledge of how SEO works. And in addition to that, you've already figured out and know what specific keywords or key terms that you should be targeting and vying for. All right, checklist item number 1 is to properly structure your blog post links. Now, when it comes to links on your blog post, you absolutely do not, I repeat, do not want to just stuff a whole bunch of links on a blog post page that's just linking to everywhere on the internet. The Google algorithm or most search engine algorithms are smart enough to detect that, and I guarantee you will be penalized for essentially link stuffing your website. Now, the one caveat to that is if you're gonna have a blog post where you wanna list out a bunch of items or things and you wanna link those things to different websites or blog posts or products, yes, that's perfectly okay. The rule of thumb is as long as it's within context and within reason. That being said, you're gonna wanna start with at least some basics when it comes to blog post linking because it is a requirement. So the rule of thumb is to have at least 3. Link number 1 should go closer to the top of the blog post and it should be linking to the page that you're trying to rank for. A great example of this would be if you have a page on your website in, let's call it New York foreclosures, and this is the page that you're trying to rank for. Now, the strategy here is that you're gonna wanna create anchor text within your blog post that is gonna use some variation of that targeted keyword text that you're vying for. So maybe in your blog post, that anchor text could be foreclosures in New York. Now, link number 2 should be an article somewhere within your blog post linking to another blog that should be of relevant content. And then link number 3 can be linked to an article from an external website, maybe a website that you use to reference 1 or 2 points that you have within your article. Now, starting off with a basis of 3 links within a blog post is good enough to get you off the ground, but you're always welcome to add more links. Just remember, it has to be within reason and context. All right, step number 2 is to optimize your blog post. Now, what exactly does that look like? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It's just 5 main items. They are the page title, the URL, the title on the actual blog post, the body of the blog post, as well as your meta description. Now, if you're using WordPress, there's a really great plugin out there. It's called Yoast SEO. It really helps you optimize your blog posts for each one of these 5 things I just mentioned. What I am trying to get at in this particular exercise is making sure that each one of those 5 items I just mentioned is relevant to your blog post. So a great example of this would be if your blog post is about first-time home buyers getting approved for a loan, then it should only be mentioning that and nothing about, anything miscellaneous like sellers. The next item on this checklist is that you're gonna wanna make sure that you're optimizing for all of your images and media. That means if you're uploading a photo, a video, or a podcast, you're gonna always wanna make sure that you're adding the alt text or alternate text. Yes, I know it's really annoying and it's often overlooked, but this little nuance does affect positively your SEO rankings, so make sure you do it. All right, checklist item number 4 is to make sure that your blog post articles are about one particular topic. Look, I know how many of your minds work, and the idea is that you want to just dump everything into one very long-winded article, and that is not really the way to go. Look, I know that length of a blog post is something relevant when it comes to search engine rankings, but the last thing you want to do is just add a whole bunch of fluff to get to the 2,000 or 3,000 word count. My recommendation is to make these articles concise, even if they are short. Small posts that are specific are far better than making a long-winded article that covers multiple topics. So please keep it in mind that the spray and pray strategy is not very good for SEO. All right, my last checklist item for you is to concentrate on continuity. Sure, it may take you a week to write a blog post, and I'm sure it's exhausting, but let me tell you now, Search engines do reward continuity. Google, like every other search engine, will constantly be checking and indexing your website on a regular basis for new and up-to-date content. And if they see that, they will inevitably reward you by pushing up your website on the search engine rankings. All right, now to wrap things up, as your goal and your website grows, so should your marketing and content efforts. Now, if you've seen the Netflix documentary called Social Dilemma, you know that we are currently living in an attention economy. He or she that garners the most attention will likely succeed, and that is the strategy that you essentially need to deploy. Posting content on a consistent and regular basis is really the magic sauce that you're gonna need to get that attention. Now, if you're having trouble coming up with a content strategy or blogging, please by all means feel free to reach out. It's one of the things that we are experts in, and we are happy to help. Aside from that, I hope you found the video helpful, and if you did, please make sure you click that like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you get notified for future videos. You know it helps out the channel, you know the YouTube algorithm loves it, and thank you so much in advance. Aside from that, I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.